ebe a gbasara anya na okeke ha indọstrị ndị steeti gọọmenti a nwere
mba gọọmenti anọla ya ugbu a
anụ na ya keke ụdị indọstrị e nwere echenji taim ọ keke eti kọfị ọ keke emesi tatum ọ keke ndị ọrụ niile e nwere n'obodo ndị nchekwa obodo niile a wụọ ndị keke onye eketara nwekwa onye ọzọ eketara eke ihe m na-asụ bụ Igbo ọ dị oyibo m na-asụ ahụ m onye Igbo steeti a hapụ ndị keke aka
It's Monday and it is the 25th day in the month of May 2020. It's a public holiday anyways, as declared by President Muhammadu Buhari, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for the Eid al-Fitr celebration for Muslim faithful as they ended the month of Ramadan. That's the fasting month. Welcome to another edition of the program, The Platform, right here on Flow 94.9 FM. This is the Flow of God's own state. It is the pinnacle of all discussions where we take a look at issues as it affects our dear nation Nigeria and also as it affects our dear state, Abia State. Welcome. The program comes up on radio every Monday, every Wednesday, and also every Friday on the Flow of God's own state, Flow 94.9 FM. My name is Michael Oni. Now, one of the pains of the raging coronavirus pandemic is the lockdown, which has stalled economic activities and putting low-income Nigerians on the edge. Though well intended to stem the spread of the virus and enable medics quick access to certain areas, so far there is a phased relaxation of the lockdown, but implementation of government directives is an area that needs to be evaluated. Now, granted that there are many overzealous enforcement officers, the citizens also have a role to play in ensuring compliance with the rules. Now, this morning on the platform, we are revisiting the recent clash between the tricycle operators, that's the Timass, the Traffic and Indiscipline Management Agency of Abia State, and other bodies, talking about Atriwa, talking about the Asatua, the tricycle operators, the body that we have in Abia State. Now, we hope to bring all the actors into discussion this morning as we wait for your own experience on the other end of the discussion. So welcome on board. Welcome to the platform right here on Flow 94.9 FM. During the introduction of the program a couple of minutes ago, I told you that there was a clash, there was a face-off between the Timass officials and their vehicles were vandalized, of course, between Timass and the tricycle operators in Umuahia, the capital of Abia State. But we have an official of Asatua joining us this morning on the program. Glad to have you join us. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you very much. Just for record purpose, please, can you confirm your name and your position in the organization?
Yeah, my name is Comrade Jean Ezejo, the state chairman of Asatua.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You're welcome, Comrade Eugene. Now, we want to begin. Let's begin with the enforcement of the lockdown. How did you see it as far as your members, the tricycle operators in your organization, in your union, are concerned?
Yeah. In terms of the lockdown, we make it as a point of duty that every of our members should join and comply by government directives. Because government is doing all these things for our own good. And I want to tell you that no governor, no government will be happy seeing his people dying or perishing in such a dangerous sickness. So that is the reason why we must compel our members to join hands to see that whatever the government have said in terms of this will stand. Thank you very much.
Okay, now we want to know, there is this clash and the complaints by your union members now. They are complaining that there are so many overzealous enforcement officers and they do not like the way they go about harassing them, intimidating them. What can you say about this?
Well, thank you, my brother. The truth and nothing but the truth about it is that if you are a good citizen of this country, you should be law-abiding. We don't encourage any of our members to not be law-abiding.
Okay.
Because if we are going around encouraging them, telling them how to disobey traffic rules or to disobey the state government or to disobey whatever being the policy of the state government, definitely we are empowering them wrongly. So that is that.
But the complaint by your members, are you saying that it is not correct?
No, because I'm not steady on the field. I'm not saying that they are not correct, but what I'm saying is that I don't see if you are my member or our member on the road do the needful and the right thing. Because if you don't do, there are law enforcement agencies out there to enforce the law. So I think all our members, and I think these people, government agencies or enforcement agencies,
yes,
they will comply when we call them. If any of our members have called for us to explain in whatever in my commit or whatever that happened on the field, I think most of them, when we call them, they will listen to us since we are the leaders. So I didn't say their complaint is not good or is not wise because I'm not there in the field to study with them.
Okay.
But most time cases, the enforcement agencies do listen to us when we call.
Interesting. Now, we want to know, there was this clash recently in Umuahia, the capital of Abia State, at Ishigate Axis, where the members, officers of the Traffic and Indiscipline Management Agency of Abia State, the Timass, clashed with some tricycle operators, the Keke drivers, right here in Abia State. Are you aware of that event?
Yes, I think about that. And the truth and nothing but the truth is that the person that is involved, who is the DGM of the Timass,
yes,
named by Smart, one young man named by Smart, have narrated all the stories how it happens. We have a tricycle operators union here in Abia, and the Smart, the young man, have made it clear that his men apprehended a tricycle owned by Achwewa. Okay. And at the process, when he apprehended the vehicle and the tricycle, and these people called him to release the tricycle. At the end of the day, I heard that the same union went and gathered and met the people and escorted the people doing the Timass work and surrounded them, which the leader called them to leave his people, and after all said and done, he was there by himself to calm the situation. Even the chairman of the Atrewa, there in Umuahia, named by Chusum, also called the young man, Smart, the Timass DGM, to read his member for him. At the end of the day, I later heard that the vice chairman was there, president of the Timass Wewa, and started comforting the man called Smart. After comforting him and all the rest, and Smart himself, for him to maintain peace, he sent the Timass man, sent his men to go and bring the tricycle in their office for peace to reign. So he did his best, and he brought the tricycle there and hand them over. At the end of the day, the same deputy chairman of Atwewa in Omoaya now asked me to read that he will, when the reflect is tied, that he will bring it. For Smart to leave and enter the local government, the next thing was that they start destroying the vehicle. So it's so obvious that it's that particular union that did that, so not all the tricycle in Omoaya.
The clash between the tricycle operators and the Timass officers didn't have anything to do with your union, Asatua.
Yes, has nothing to do with my union. Has nothing, absolutely nothing.
All right. Let's talk about your union members. Now, have they been complying with the directives of having 2 passengers at a time, and also the passengers, including the Keke driver, the tricycle operator, should have their face mask on?
Yes, they have been complying. And we have our task force men patrolling on the road every day to make sure and to ensure that they comply to the directive of the state government.
There was another issue, Comrade Eugene, raised by your members, that the government do collect, there is a rule that you have to bail your Keke with 50,000 naira if your Keke gets impounded by the government.
Yes, to those that before the law by the government. The government, I know why they put that tax is that to put fear into people, both the riders and the passengers, so that they won't go ahead packing people like sardine or geisha in their cycles, so that they will maintain going with 2.
Are you okay with that particular law?
Yeah, not that why I say I am okay, or why I won't say I'm okay, is that I know that what the government is doing is for people to comply and obey the government, because if there is no fine, definitely you will see people in this dangerous time of COVID-19 and all the rest. I think that is the main reason.
Okay.
Government don't want the Keke people to carry much passengers in their cycle. I think I was there the day we agreed on that.
Okay.
Instead of them staying at home, dying of hunger, or we are not doing anything, every morning we'll be at home doing nothing. The governor himself is his mate called me, and I was there. We sit together and agreed that each cycle now will be carrying two passengers for a moment, and the passengers will go with face mask, and the rider also will ride with the face mask.
All right.
It was agreed unanimously with the government, between me and them.
All right, Comrade Eugene, we want to really appreciate your time on the program this morning. Officer of the Abia State Tricycle Operators Association, Asatua. Thank you very much for your time this morning on the program.
Thank you, and God bless you, my brother. Yeah.
All right, we are still definitely going to bring all the actors involved into the discussion this morning, and of course, so that you can have an idea of what is happening concerning the crisis between the Keke operators and, of course, the tricycle operators rather, and the Timass, talking about the traffic and indiscipline management agency of Abia State. But definitely, a whole lot of them went on the streets last week protesting extortion, alleged extortion, and of course intimidation and alleged harassment by officers of the Traffic and Discipline Management Agency, and also some security operatives ensuring their compliance to some of these directives put in place by the government. It is still the platform right here on Flow 94.9 FM. Get your experiences ready, because I know you have so much to tell me this morning on the other end of the discussion on the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions on Flow 94.9 FM. Monday edition, and of course it is the first edition for the week. It comes on radio every Monday, every Wednesday, and also every Friday. And we have a member of Atriwa joining us this morning on the program. Comrade, good morning to you. We have a member of Atriwa joining us this morning. Comrade, good morning to you. Hello. Good morning to you. Good morning. We have a member of Atriwa joining us this morning. I hope you can hear me. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right. Glad to have you join us this morning. For record purpose, can you confirm your name and also your designation?
I am St. Moses Obonna.
All right. St. Moses.
Chairman of Allied Tricycle Riders Integrated Welfare Association, the national president.
St. Moses, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Now, there was an incident that happened at Ishigate axis of Umuahia, and the members, officers of the Traffic and Discipline Management Agency of Abia State, fingered your union in that ugly incident, and they said that your men didn't comply with the directives given by the government, especially as a member of your tricycle union plied a single lane. As a result of that violation, he was issued a government ticket as penalty for the offense, and it all went on into an ugly incident in which vehicles were destroyed, vehicles belonging to Traffic and Discipline Management Agency. Please, can you give us an insight into your own side of the story?
Thank you very much. The whatever they call him, Deputy General Manager of Timass, is not sincere to himself. You see, according to report from my Umuahia zone chairman, he said that on 3 days before that yesterday, the Timass contravened a member of Atrewa for applying against traffic on a one-way. And they impounded his tricycle and kept it in their office, saying that the boy should pay 50,000 naira as penalty. This boy rallied around, got 10,000 naira and pleaded that he be allowed to go. They refused. They now called on me. I said, Timass, we are working together. I called on the Deputy General Manager, Umuahia. Say, please, you know we are having a hard time now when there is lockdown. Nobody is supporting anybody who offends traffic rule. Nobody is doing that. Please, since he has gotten 10,000 naira, why don't you accept the 10,000 naira? He said, no, that he has issued the ticket. I said, okay, use your discretion. If you like to leave him, you leave him. If you don't like, forget. But I am begging you, look at the situation we have now. The situation in the country where everybody is trying to eke out a living. 10,000 naira is okay for a Keke person. He refused. He told me, okay, let him go and find out what is happening. Unknown to us that they had contravened another person, a member of another union at Ishigate, for loading, for obstruction, according to them, obstruction, unauthorized loading. And they said the boy must pay 10,000. And that sparked off the problem. The person they contravened at Ishigate is not a member of Atrewa. The Keke people that went there are not members of Atrewa. Atrewa is very few in Umuahia. We are barely 4 months to 5 months in Umuahia. There are tricycles that are, domineering in Umuahia, and not Atrewa. So, unknown to me, I did not even know the latest situation. I just thought it was that of running against traffic. It was when I got to Umuahia that I now got to know that he was being molested. When he called me that my men are holding him, I said, which men? What is the problem again? Who is their leader? He said their leader is there. I said, give him phone. My vice chairman in Umuahia incidentally was there. He took phone from him. The deputy general manager's phone. I said, my friend, disperse every other person there Why are you holding a government agent? He says, no, it is not a matter of Atrewa, that it is not Atrewa. Before Smart, that it is other Keke people, that there is a problem there. I said, whether there is problem or not, disperse them. Whatever happened again, we do not know. He said that according to Smart himself, who is the deputy general manager, that when they allowed him to go, he has released the tricycle. He went to where he parked his vehicle, which means where he parked his vehicle was outside the area that the problem was. And only him knew he parked his vehicle there with his operational men. When they got there, according to his write-up, he saw that the tires of his vehicle has been deflated. I do not know whether a security man who parked his vehicle and saw it was deflated does not have a sense of insecurity at that point. He collected all his men, according to him, left his vehicle where they parked it, and went to look in search of a vulcanizer. One, he never knew who deflated the vehicle. He didn't know whether it is Keke people or not. He came back now to find out that the vehicle has been vandalized and upturned. He's concluded because he caught an Atrewa person 3 days ago who violated a traffic rule. It is now Atrewa people.
It was also said that your men attacked officers of Timass, that an officer of Timass was beaten.
He never said that. Throughout, he made his statement, and throughout he spoke with me. He never said they beat me. He only said they held him hostage. And I asked those people to disperse, which they did. Unknown to him that his tire has been deflated. At the time he got to the point where the tire was deflated, he could have raised the alarm. He could have left his men to secure the vehicle. All of them left there, according to him, in search of vulcanizer.
Okay, did you at any time agree with the government for 50,000 naira fine against some of the traffic rules committed by your members?
We are not aware of those rules. We are not aware of those rules and of those fines. The government has not called us at any point in time, or any of his agents, to say these are the fines. But what we are saying, even if those fines exist, given the period we are, where the whole Keke people are asked to move, operate between 8 in the morning and 3 in the evening, which is half day. And there are only 3 days of business days. And the Keke people are asked to carry only 2 passengers. A reasonable government official will know there is an emergency. And when there is an emergency period, and an officer of that ranking ought to use his discretion to know what will anger the people and what will not anger them. He did not use his discretion very well. He did not use his sense of judgment very well. He did not act as a leader of the Timass. He was more interested in money rather than on the situation he found himself.
We also got reports that your men are complaining that they are being extorted on a daily, harassment, not only in Umuahia and also in Aba, harassment, extortion, and intimidation. How will you react to this, comrade?
We have never complained to anybody over intimidations and harassment at Rewa. But there are thousands of Keke who claim they are being harassed and intimidated and extorted. That is a claim.
All right. A
member of this government. I am the state organizing secretary of PDP. I can never work against the government I am part of. I believe in dialogue. If there is such a complaint that has come to me, I will confront the government with it, and we will resolve it.
Just before I let you go this morning, Comrade Sane,
reasonable person that will charge a Keke person 50,000, 75,000 according to him. He was even saying that the 50,000 was at a mercy. How much does a Keke person make? It's enough to anger people.
Okay, just before I let you go this morning, comrade, are there plans to resolve this disagreement?
Yes, the government has moved into it.
Okay.
And I'm coming to Umaya now over the same resolution. And the 3 unions in Umaya have been invited, and they have met severally, and they are meeting again, as I understand, today or tomorrow, to resolve the impasse amicably.
Saint Moses.
Is that the Timass person does not know who vandalized his vehicle. According to his confession, he did not see those who punctured his tires. He did not see those who upturned the vehicle. It was at his it was a part of his duty to secure his vehicle. The moment he got there and saw that the vehicle has been deflated, a reasonable security person who had men at his disposal, he would have asked them to wait there.
All right.
And by the principle of the last scene, the last person that saw that vehicle before it was vandalized,
Moses,
it was upturned,
our time
was
is
the Timass
fast
person.
spent.
And that it is possible it is the Timass man with his men that upturned that vehicle, and they claim it is Keke, because they've been making threats of how Keke will be proscribed. Any little reaction from the Keke people, they say if you react, we proscribe them.
Okay.
And that is his ploy.
All right.
A plot he designed so that if he creates that impasse, the government will proscribe Atrewa or the tricycle business.
Comrade Saint Moses, I really do appreciate your time this morning on the program, the National President of Atrewa. Thank you very much for letting us into your side of the story this morning.
Thank you very much.
We do appreciate. All right, there you have the National President of Atrewa. You know, a lot is happening, and of course, we will definitely get you informed. And we're trying to get across to Smart Wakwe, the Deputy General Manager of Timass, but seems his line is switched off presently. But we will definitely get across to him. If it is possible, just before the end of the program. We spoke with him just before the start of the program already, and he confirmed that he will be available to speak to us this morning. But unfortunately, it's not possible as it stands now. But we will definitely keep trying before we wrap up things here this morning. But what do you make of what is happening presently concerning Timass, concerning Atrewa, Tuan? There is another union, Tuan. We have 3 tricycle unions in Abia State. We have the Atrewa, we have the Asatua, we have the Tuan. And of course, we spoke with the officials of both Atrewa and Asatua this morning. Of course, we're trying to get across to the officers of the Timass, Traffic and Indiscipline Management Agency of Abia State. But let's hear from you. What's your experience like? What do you make of this? What is happening? If you're a Keke operator, I'm talking about a tricycle operator, it is your time to narrate your experience, your own side of the story. I'm sure that you have something to say, to tell me this morning on the platform on Flow 94.9 FM. 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. Also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. Okay. All right. Since we have the general manager of Timass, that's the Traffic and Discipline Management Agency of Abia State, online now, so that we can have a balanced conversation this morning. General Manager, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
All right, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Can you confirm your name?
My name is Bright Koku. I'm the general manager of Timass.
All right, Mr. Bright, thank you very much. There was a clash between your officers and tricycle operators recently, just last week in Abia State, where vehicles of your organizations were destroyed. And according to the statement released by your organization, that your man was held hostage. Please, can you let us into your side of the story?
Yeah, I think the Deputy General Manager of Timass, who is also in charge of the operations in Omaya, had his men abducted by the men of the Keke tricyclists and the rest of them.
Okay.
But to be very, very sincere, there has never been any report from any group or any union of these Keke people to my table that maybe they've been inflicted with any kind of pain or they've been subjected to ambiguous payment. Issue. But I think I condemn in totality, like I've met with the leadership on Saturday, the idea of taking laws into their hands and unleashing violence on my workers and the damage of vehicles and the rest of them. We condemn it totally. And I've said there is no other story attached to this. Everything in life remains at rest of an external force that applied on it. Somebody called these our people out to come and they're having a meeting, and they were ambushed and they were dealt with treacherously. Let me tell you clearly.
Okay.
If the Keke people has a problem with the agency called Timass, they should know that the oil flows from Aaron's head to the bears before it gets to the scale. I am the general manager of Timass. I'm the chairman of Timass. There would have been a letter or maybe an oral complaint from these people saying your people are not treating us fair. Or if they think I'm not fit for them, they can also meet the commission or even write to the governor. But taking laws into their hands for whatever reason is condemnable, and we cannot take that.
Okay, there is another issue of a 50,000 naira fine that it has been said that was put out by your men, that it should be paid by the tricycle operator in question that caused the fracas.
Like I said earlier, the issue of fines when it has to do with traffic offense varies according to your actions and your inactions.
Okay.
Let me take you, for instance, you that is speaking with me now. If you drive against traffic and the next person's case is that he parked wrongly, I think we should not deal it together. Now, if somebody also drove against traffic and did not also stop at that, but ended up resisting arrest or inflicting pain on our officers, these bookings there are specified bookings. But I also declare the people in tricyclists should be billed heavily as the cases. Everything, like I said, remains at rest. If you don't commit anything, we don't fight for you. Now, if your commitment or your offense per se is higher than that of your neighbor, you should be able to carry your cross or maybe approach the agency legally or approach them like a human being. There is nobody that is above the law, including the agency itself. I was expecting a group of persons, if the bill or the fines that are being weighed on them are heavy, they should have actually approached and say, this man that writes them, in the time past, I've written to Tuan, written to Atrewa, I've written to Satua. To just some months back, this COVID thing, and they should help us to make sure that the governor's instructions are being carried out. I did not write to Keke people, but I wrote to their leaders.
Okay.
So the leadership of this union would have also, in return, turned to me to say, these your men in Omaya are inflicting me with pain.
All right.
They are inflicting our unions with pain. But the union, why we have union is because somebody is the head. Somebody should pilot the affairs union. The union people should adhere to the leadership of that union.
Okay.
So if a staff of mine comes to address your union and you end up upturning their vehicles and inflicting them with pain, and you're saying, no, we don't know the owners, the perpetrators of this thing. So that is wrong. You are the person who serves as the mediator between the union and our people.
Okay.
So the leadership of this union should be held responsible.
All right. Thank you very much for your time this morning and for giving us your account of the event this morning on the program.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Now, the man we shall get across, it seems we've been able to pull through now, Smart Wakwe, the Timass DGM, that's the Deputy General Manager, who was in the thick of the action for his own account of the event, of what happened, and of course, to have an idea of what happened, especially that Mr. Smart Wakwe, glad to have you join us this morning on the conversation. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, my name is Michael Oni. You're live on Flow 94.9 FM. Now, we want to have an idea of what happened from your end, especially your men. You were at the thick of the storm that particular day. The unfortunate incident happened in Umuahia, the capital of Abia State.
What actually happened was that I was in the office when my men called me and told me that a set of group of persons held them hostage at Ishigate environment. And they identified the person as the vice chairman of Atrewa, Umuahia branch.
All right.
I got a call from their chairman, the Umuahia chairman, which is Chisom, telling me about an issue that has to do with one of their keke. And my boss also confirmed that why the vice chairman held them at Ishigate, that they said that I must produce that tricycle before they will let them go. I also got a call from the state chairman of Atrewa, Semoso Sobona, who also after this call was when all these things started happening. So I'm just confused as you are.
What was the offense of the keke in question?
The offense was that he drove against the traffic, he had no driver's license, and he had no papers attached to that tricycle.
So how much was said to be paid by the same keke in question?
Okay, the government fine for driving against the traffic is 60,000 naira. Not having a driver's license is 10,000 naira. And not having a papers to your vehicle is 5,000 naira.
So it was said that one of the grievances of these keke operators was that 50,000 naira. Taking a look at the condition, what is happening presently, the economy situation, and how much a keke operator is making per day is not in tandem with the money in question, or the fine to be paid by this keke operator.
The truth about the matter is that the government was good enough to put that fine because we are not trying to tell them to pay that fine. It was to scare them away from committing such fine. For somebody to drive against the traffic, driving one way, it can go into fatality. So we wanted to use that fine to discourage them. It was not meant that they must pay that fine.
So at what point were your cars vandalized and upturned?
When they asked that if the tricycle was not released to them, that I and my officers, because I had to drive down there to actually know and address them what was happening. But when I got there, they ordered their members to surround my vehicle with a tricycle, and I couldn't leave. So they asked that before I and my officers could leave, that I must produce that tricycle. At a particular point, they started harassing passerbys and other road users. And I said I wouldn't want this to escalate to any. So I called for the tricycle to be released, which they brought the tricycle there and released it to them. It was when I wanted to go to my vehicle, and I noticed that the tires were deflated. And I went with my officers to go and look for a vulcanizer because they were almost lynching us at that particular place. So I thought, let us step out to look for a vulcanizer and come back with reinforcement. But before I could come back, they've done their worst.
And there was another report of a journalist who was molested that particular day. And the journalist is pointing accusation fingers at your men for that beating that he received on that particular day.
Every person that knows Timass command, every person that knows smart to work with knows that I'm a very peaceful young man. I have trained my men to a standard that even though you assault them in the field, they don't retaliate. They keep as calm till the issue is brought to me in the office. So we couldn't have assaulted any person. Just maybe 5-6 officers assault a journalist where that crowd is. We are not lawless people. We are trained personnel. We are trained officials of the state. So there are certain things we don't indulge as officers.
All right, Mr. Smartwork, we will definitely get back to you to, wrap up things concerning this particular event. And I hope that plans are on the way to resolve these differences with these Keke operators.
Well, definitely, everybody should be law-abiding. If the first thing that we should know that if that tricycle didn't drive against the traffic, didn't apply one way, this issue would have started.
All right.
If Atrewa, vice chairman, didn't go and held my officers at hostage in the Sigate and environment, this thing would have come up. So for me, I feel that it's a planned attack on a government agency and my person.
All right, Mr. Smart Wakwe, thank you very much for speaking to us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Okay.